Happy Wednesday and welcome back to my channel. So today I am here with another top 5 for the series that I have been doing for the month of April, and we are just about done with this series. It's actually kind of sad because I've really been enjoying it, but next week will be our last video. So I really hope that you guys have been enjoying this series so far, but today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 eyeshadow palettes. And just as a reminder, this series is a collaboration with my friend the plainest Jane here on YouTube. So as usual, I will have her channel linked in the description bar below so that after you're done checking out this video, you can head over to her channel and check out her top 5 picks as well. I will also leave links to the other 3 top 5 videos that we've done so far, so that if you're just now checking out this series or if you haven't had a chance to check out our previous 3 videos, you can just check the description bar below and they'll be right there for you to click on and check out. So I'm super excited for this topic. I think between this one and the mascaras, these were the 2 that I was the most excited about filming for you guys, because eyeshadow palettes are definitely one of my obsessions. I have tons of eyeshadow palettes, I'm sure way more than any one person can ever use in their lifetime, but I'm just so obsessed with them, and I really love just all the different ones that they come out with, all the different designs and the packaging and the formulas, and just really love eyeshadow palettes. So I'm super excited to share my personal top 5 favorites with you guys today. So if you'd like to know what they are, then please keep watching. So the first eyeshadow palette that I want to share with you guys is actually the first high-end eyeshadow palette that I ever purchased, and it's this palette right here. I'm sure I am not the only one that owns this palette, because I think this may be probably the top first high-end palette that most girls purchase, because it's such a universal palette. It's super easy to use, and it's just really great for beginners because it has, I think, a lot of the really basic shades that are really easy to work with. So this is the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is the original. They have come out with 2 other palettes since this one. So they have a Naked 2, and then what was the other one called? So I just looked in my drawer and realized that the third one is just called Naked 3. So just the original Naked palette, Naked 2, and Naked 3. I don't own the Naked 2 palette because I thought that a lot of the shades were just repeat shades, although I have heard tons of people say how much they love the Naked 2. But I think the original Naked palette has to be my absolute favorite, because as you can see, this is just the perfect palette for beginners, and even if you're not a beginner, this palette just has such absolutely gorgeous shades. It's really pigmented, and the shades are really easy to blend and work with. So the thing that I love about this palette is that you do have your 2 matte shades here, which are perfect for transitioning your shadows in the crease. And then you've got a couple of lighter shades here, and then it kind of transitions into your darker, more smoky shades. So definitely love this palette. Definitely recommend it if you are wanting to kind of dabble into more high-end products. Definitely recommend checking this one out because I absolutely love it and definitely get tons of use out of it. The next palette that I want to share with you guys is one that you can get right at your local drugstore, and it's this palette here by Wet n Wild. This one is in the shade Comfort Zone. I really love this palette as well because it has a lot of really different shades that you can use to create lots of different looks. So on a day-to-day basis, these 2 bronzy shades here are the ones that I use the most. And I really love this palette because the shades are super easy to blend. So on most days that I use this palette, like on an everyday basis, I will literally just rub my finger in the shade, and you can see how pigmented it is, and I'll just use my finger to apply it all over my lid, and it's just super easy, super quick, and makes for a very beautiful bronzy shade just to wear all over the lid for the daytime. I also really love this palette because it does have some darker, more smoky shades on the right side, and then also this shade here. This shade in particular is absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of the MAC Blue Brown pigment. It's really gorgeous. I actually just filmed a makeup tutorial with this. I haven't edited it yet, but it's going to actually be another prom makeup tutorial, so I'll have that up for you soon using this shade here. But as you can see, it's absolutely stunning. And these shadows in general by Wet n Wild, I believe this palette is like $4 or $5. And the shadows in here are super pigmented and just really great high quality shadows and for a really inexpensive price. So definitely recommend these eyeshadow quads that they have. They have smaller ones where you get 3 in a quad, and then the bigger ones like this. All of them are amazing quality, but this one in particular I get tons of use out of, and definitely recommend if you're looking to check out an eyeshadow palette from Wet n Wild. So next up, I have another high-end eyeshadow palette for you guys, and it's the Lorac Pro Palette. I believe this palette is such an essential palette to have in your collection if you are a makeup artist, and it's also a really great palette, again, for beginners. If you are wanting to dabble into high-end makeup, or if you're wanting to treat yourself and get something that you think you'll really get a lot of use out of, I definitely recommend the Lorac Pro Palette. And honestly, I think I could probably say that I recommend this one a little bit more than the Naked palette. They're both around the same price, but the thing that I love about this one is that on the top you get all matte shades, and on the bottom you get all shimmery shades. So you can literally create an eyeshadow look from start to finish with this palette, and you'll have every single shade that you need. The other thing that I really love about this palette, which will probably be a trending theme with all of the eyeshadows that I share with you guys today, is the fact that all of these shadows are super pigmented. The matte shades and the shimmery shades are all really pigmented. They blend really easily as well. So this is definitely a palette that I recommend for beginners and if you're not a beginner. This palette in particular is one that I use on myself. It's also a palette that I travel with a ton to use on my clients, and just to travel with in general if I'm going out of town, because the packaging is really sleek. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and like I said, you have every single shade you could need to create any kind of look from a daytime to a nighttime look from start to finish. So definitely recommend this one as well, and both this one and the Naked palette both run for about $50. And if you consider all of the shadows that you're getting for that price, it's really a great deal. So again, this one is the original Lorac Pro palette, and another one that I definitely recommend. The next palette that I want to share with you guys is actually a palette that I created myself, and it is this palette right here. This is a Z palette that I got from Sephora, and all of the shadows inside are from Coastal Scents. So I don't know if you guys have heard very much about Coastal Scents. I know they sell a ton of things, from makeup brushes to eyeshadow palettes to all sorts of things, but I don't ever really hear very much about their Hot Pot eyeshadows. And this is not the first time that I've mentioned these. I've used them in a couple of tutorials on my channel so far, and I'm really surprised that I haven't heard anything about these shadows, because they retail for only $2, but the quality that you get, they could totally sell these eyeshadows for way more than $2. And just so that you can see just the pigmentation on these. So here are a couple of quick swatches of the shades just to kind of show you the pigmentation on these shadows. And like I said, these are absolutely beautiful shadows on the lid. I don't personally own any of the Makeup Geek shadows, which I know are really, really popular right now, but I definitely feel like these could hold their own against those Makeup Geek shadows, and they are more than half the price of those shadows. So if you've been thinking about picking up some new shadows, or trying to decide if you want to try out Makeup Geek, or maybe you're kind of on the fence about the price, I believe those shadows are about $6. I recommend picking these shadows up, and I have had a couple of people mention that they would be interested in me showing a swatch video of the shades that I have. So just give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if that's something that you would want to see, because I would be more than happy to do that for you. But again, these are the Coastal Scents Hot Pot eyeshadows, and they retail for $2, and like I said, they're amazing quality, and definitely shadows that I would recommend if you want to custom create your own eyeshadow palette. So this video would not be complete without me including my last but not least favorite eyeshadow palette of the moment, and it is this Morphe Brushes Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette. really, I probably don't even have to go into that much detail about why I love this palette, because I'm almost positive that since I got it, it's made a debut in every single one of my makeup tutorials so far. But this is another one of those palettes that you can buy, and it pretty much has every single shade in here that you'll need to create a full makeup look. Now, of course, with this palette, you're going to get a whole bunch more shades than the other palettes that I've showed you so far. But the cool thing about this one is the Lorac palette and the Naked palette, those are both $50. This one, you get all of these shades and it's only $28. Now, of course, the only downside to this one is that it is really, really popular and can be a bit hard to get your hands on. But I did see on Morphe Brush's Instagram profile that they did restock this palette and that they are accepting pre-orders all the way through the month of April, and that they're shipping them out on April 30th. So if you didn't have a chance to pick up this palette the first go round, I definitely recommend heading over to their website and purchasing this palette, because like I said, for all the palettes that I've said so far, I really wanted to try to show you guys things that would be great for beginners, but also great for established makeup artists or people that are more advanced or who have been doing their makeup for a really long time. Palettes that would work for both groups. So I feel like this is another one that is really, really affordable. The eyeshadow pans, they do sell them separately, and I believe they're like $2 each. But if you get the palette as a whole, you save a little bit of money because it's only $27.99, and you have a ton of matte shades and a ton of shimmer shades. This was actually the first product that I ever purchased from Morphe Brushes, and I was so excited that Jaclyn collaborated with them because I was on the fence trying to figure out what eyeshadow palette I wanted to get from them and which one I thought would meet my needs and would be the one that I would get a lot of use out of. And so when I saw that she put together her favorites, I was like, okay, finally, I don't have to try to choose, because I'm sure whichever one she puts together will be ones that I'll love and get a lot of use out of. And I literally have gotten so much use out of this palette since I got it. So I'm not going to go on and on and on, because I have hyped up this palette so much in so many of my videos so far, makeup tutorials that I've filmed so far. So basically, I say all of that to say this is an amazing palette, definitely one that I would recommend, and it is restocked on Morphe Brush's website. So if you haven't had a chance to pick it up, or if you're interested in picking it up, I would definitely recommend heading over to their website and placing your pre-order so that you can make sure that you will have one on its way to you on April 30th. Alright, so that is all that I have for you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to head over to the Plainest Jane's channel and check out what her top 5 eyeshadow palettes are as well. Also, I did want to quickly mention that if you're not following me on Instagram right now, I am hosting a huge 10K giveaway featuring a ton of my favorite products, and the giveaway actually ends this Friday. So if you haven't had a chance to check that out, I will have a link to my Instagram down below, and I will insert a little picture in here just showing you guys the things that I will be giving away, so that if you're interested, you can head on over to my Instagram profile and check that out. So thank you guys so much again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.